Hey to anyone who is watching this early. We're starting a new thing where we're starting the stream early so people aren't waiting around. But I am still moving around things. If you're watching this after the fact, I am hidden behind a gigantic logo. If you're watching this after the fact, you can probably scrub through about 15 minutes to get to the start and about 20 minutes so that you get to the first storyteller. I'm going to go ahead and open up Twitch. Reminded me that I should open up Twitter as well. So nobody is here early. Oh, nope, there are some people here early. Hey. I have one new friend request. Accept. Where am I at? How do I get to my channel? There we go. So the show will actually start at 6. I'm gonna go ahead and move this off. Can I do it? Brand. Let's look. Lock. If I double click on it. No, wrong one. There we go. Whew. Oh, and there's Noah. I'm gonna go ahead and add him to the stream. You are looking for some Google Docs. So let's see if I can find them. Can you hear me, Noah?
Oh, I can hear you.
Cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me?
Oh, there you go. You're starting to come through.
Oh, yeah, I got to get my phone and put myself on the good internet.
Glass Gorilla, do I know you from real life? Are you actually paying attention, or do you just have it open and you walked away? Works. Oh, this is what you wanted. Oh, but I need to have some notes up open too. Oh, some people are watching already. We are going to start. I need to go to streamer. We're going to start promptly at 6 is my expectation. But we have decided to do a new thing where we open up a little early. That way people don't just see the dead air screen. And if anybody has any questions about how the show is going to run or anything of that nature, you can feel free to throw those in. Susan's about to pop in. Can I let her in?
Get out of hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But you've got her on. You're on. I'm gonna mute you, Susan, if you're on the
Can't
phone.
mute me.
Okay. Noah ran to get something fixed. We're just setting things up. Just so you know, Susan, we're streaming right now. It's up and running. Noah needed this shared with him. He does have it shared. Copy link. And then I need to pick up some glass cleaner. Perfect. People are filing in slowly but surely. You look good.
Okay, I'm gonna
Noah, were
disappear.
you working today? I sent you the link you wanted.
Thank you. Kind of. I went to buy a washer and a dryer, and when I got there, the guy who was there said, "What? My ex tried to sell my washer and dryer?" So I came home empty-handed.
I think I might be getting reverb somewhere. Do people hear me echoing?
No.
Okay. Susan is laughing, but she's still on mute. Let me.
I'm gonna disappear
Look.
for a second.
Okay.
Because I gotta switch networks and hopefully nothing.
Oh, real disappear. I gotta refresh this. It looks like people aren't logged in. Thank you to everybody who's jumping on. The show is going to start right on time at 6. And we're just hanging out pre-chat. If anybody has questions or anything that they want, you can sign in and then use the chat box to talk to us. And Mac is here, but his camera's in a goofy spot, so I'm gonna wait till he actually shows up. Over here, we should probably tweet that the show is running. Phone share. Hello to everybody who's watching. Hey, Susan, are you still on? Are you still on the phone? Do you need to be unmuted? Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey. Actually, I don't know if I'm back in. I am back in. What's up?
So we are streaming currently. Hey, Mr. Wiley's here.
Hey.
Thank you for coming. Now, Wiley, do you? I know that you know Kay in real life, but are you a Baltimore person or Atlanta or somewhere else?
Right.
And let him finish.
What's up, TJ?
Oh, there you are. Hey. You are on mute, TJ. Success. What? Texas? Mackenzie just drove through there along with a good friend of ours, Adam, who I should remind that the show is about to start.
And there we go.
All right. Did everyone see the email I sent about the show's opening today?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I did not. Okay. Perfect. Bum, bum, bum. And 3 minutes. Who do we have that I recognize? Hello, fan. We have had in the past couple weeks, we set up on a thing called Volunteer Match, and we've had a bunch of volunteers sign up, and 3 of them have started doing some good work for us. So thank you to those people. I am guessing that Fan for Story Luck is one of those people, but I'm not 100% sure. Bum, bum, bum. You can correct me if you want to correct me.
I think it's
Does everybody know how to if I send out a like message to just be like, tell us where you're from originally, can the people who are logged in figure out how to use chat to say where they're from originally? And it is chat, so feel free to make it up. It is a storytelling show. Go ahead and unmute Susan. Hey. TJ, how has your week been? Oh, you're on mute. Susan, how has your week been?
Busy.
Already on day 1.
Day 1, not a moment to spare.
Yeah. So Noah, did you end up not getting?
Oh no.
No.
I did not want any part of that. I didn't know who was lying about what, who was stealing. Someone was stealing that washer and dryer, and I didn't want to be part of that situation.
Right.
The woman I talked to did message me back and was like, he told me he'd come pick it up 2 weeks ago and he never came. I was like, okay, well, that makes it less steely, but then and I was like, that's okay,
Yeah.
fine. And then she added, he did say he was going to come pick it up today. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically illegal.
Yeah.
If it was in the divorce decree that he gets it, she has to not sell it out from under.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, Susan.
It is not. It is not. My lawyer explained it to me a lot. Don't you do anything to his stuff. Just leave it till he gets it.
I'm skeptical. I met your lawyer. I'm very skeptical. All right.
The 5th one that fell through.
It is successfully 6 o'clock, and we're gonna start today's show off a little differently than we normally do. And I'm gonna say that how am I gonna word this? There's between pandemic stuff, news stuff, and just the general things that happen in our lives. There's big things, and
storytelling is a part of dealing with that, how you narrativize it. And a lot of times we talk about taking space, but then there's sometimes where you've got to talk about it before you have that space. And something happened recently here in Chicago that I just want to say out loud that it happened. So before we get into that awkwardness and then we turn it immediately into a happy-go-lucky show, I'm going to ask us to, if there's something on your heart or in your mind that you're dealing with, just to give it a moment of silence with us. We're just going to do like 1 minute silence to any intention you want to throw out there. And if you're into praying or meditating, you know, take this time to do that. But it's been a long 2021, and yeah, we're going to take a minute just right now. And if anybody wants to throw in what they're thinking about into the chat, feel free, but don't feel pressured to do that. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so we're going to do that one more time, and I'm going to name an intention that we as a group have. Most of us are in Chicago or have some connection to Chicago, and a young boy by the age of 13, you probably have seen this because it made national news, was recently murdered. He was 13 years old, and his name is Adam Toledo. And we'd like to take just a moment of silence in reverence for him. Okay. Thank you guys so much for doing that with us. We don't know, you know, there's some things that happen and you can do stuff about it, and then there's some stuff that you can't do anything about, and you can always name it. You can always talk about it. Yeah, it is a sad thing. Now we're gonna throw out a little bit of shaking off that sadness to say we're here for a big thing. And as awkward as it is, TJ had a story last week where he got news of a very sad thing. And part of his moral was, even when the sad things happen and the things that you're not expecting, life still goes on, and you just have to deal with them sometimes. So we are continuing to go on as well with our special April Fool's show. This is our April 5th, our late April 5th Fool's show. And we have hit play. And thank you so much for everyone who has showed up. This is our biggest crowd, and we super duper appreciate it. And thank you for getting into chat and saying hi. New faces and old faces. I did open it up. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we are doing a big thing today. If we get 50 unique views in this show, different IP addresses, we will be in the front page for the Twitch talk shows, and that will sort of bolster us in their algorithms for the rest of the month. So this was our big push to do that. Go ahead, and if you have any friends who are just hanging out on the internet, you can send them a link to this show and they can watch it without even logging in, and that would be awesome. That would be a big help to us. While you're doing that, my good buddy Mac is gonna continue to introduce this show.
Hey, this is the Workshop show where we tell and workshop stories in real time. Over there, the guy with the real mic and the real headphones is our host, Daniel Andrew Boyd.
Yeah. So Mac is a deep friend of mine and a lover of stories and storytelling. We are a 501c3, and as such, we're here to help you tell better stories, and we do that by helping make you better teachers and sharing and doing this iterative process of telling stories over and over again. And we have a special show for you tonight. Every month, we do a special idea generation show. In lieu of that, tonight, we're doing this April Fool's show, and I have decided to play the fool for the April Fool's show.
Yeah. I just want to remind you, Dan, it's a late April Fool's show.
Yes, April 5thools, as it were. So anyway, the twist for today is that I'm going to do a lesson just like always, and everyone in the main crew and all of you in chat will get to critique that lesson. And you'll get to workshop that lesson with me, make me go through the same process that we've been doing week in and week out with the stories. And this will help highlight exactly what we preach every week, that you should be treating everything like a skill. Everything should be an iterative process and built around community feedback so that you're constantly retooling to make things better, sort of that one brick at a time, that 1% better every time mentality. We're all friends here, and I expect you to be just as brutal as you would be otherwise.
Okay, let me introduce the other members of the crew here. TJ is our navigator. He's our hotline to all of you watching the show. Give us a wave, TJ. Susan is our resident newbie. Noah is a producer of this show and holds forth at storytelling events all over the Midwest. See, together we form a wide range of listeners. We replicate the audience experience for our tellers. When you tell a story live, it's rarely going to be a group of experts. So we give our tellers feedback from our wide range of listeners, and you can get into that in the chat. We really welcome your feedback as well.
That's very good. And Kay just popped in. Hi, Kay.
Great. Kay is our Kay is like everything here.
A goofball.
She's our hand holder, and she watches out for all of everybody who's on the show.
Awesome. All right. So that is very well put. Without further ado, we're going to do a little icebreaker question, and we're gonna be gonna do this a new way this time. We usually just do the icebreaker question sort of with everybody. Can just shout all at once. This time we're gonna try something new because we have so many people. If you go ahead and look in chat, you should be able to see everybody who is talking and who is in chat. And if any of those names call to you, you can at them and just like throw in a little at symbol just like you would. Phone is blowing up. And you can choose their name and you can ask them a question. And because we're doing this late April Fool's show, we're going to have you ask people, tell us in 1 or 2 sentences about a time when you told a lie, big, little, or in between. So ask them and they can tell you. They can click on the whisper button, or they can at you and they can tell you in the chat.
So Noah, as that's going on, can you tell us in 1 or 2 sentences about a time when you told a lie, a big lie, a little lie, or something in between?
I cannot, Mac, because I never lie. I have not once in my entire life told a single lie.
Wow, what a disability that is.
I am going to back that up. I've never seen Noah tell a lie.
Wow. I got to think of embarrassing questions for you now, Noah. You're going to answer correctly.
Hello. I apologize to cut everyone off, but as of right now, we have 50 viewers exactly. Please subscribe.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much, everyone, for turning up and seeing the show. So again, the question is, what is a big or little lie that you have ever told? Yeah.
My turn?
Yep.
I was telling a friend who might be watching right now, I actually did go to a Prince concert, so it wasn't totally false. But I told him, not only was I at the Prince concert, but Prince looked over into the audience and the spotlight that was on him followed his eyes into the audience, and he chose me to come down onto stage, and he's saying, "I would die for you." That part wasn't true, but the fact that I was at the concert, I was like, I clarified for him that I just embellished that last like 2/3 of what I said.
That's awesome. All right. So, boom. Then, all right. So if you were asked a question or weren't, we're going to do a second question to ask people in chat or to just shout out if you have an answer. Tell us about a time that it was hard to tell the truth. And I am going to at someone. All right, I've got who I'm going after, and we'll see. Does anybody in our chat have an answer to a time it was hard to tell the truth?
God, it's always hard. I mean, when it's hard to tell the truth, it's really hard to tell the truth. Wow, mine usually start out with something like, "Officer, I was just,"
Oh no.
And then I try to put a little truth in there if I can. You know,
Just to keep it spicy, a little truth with my lies. There you go.
I'm gonna go to one that happened. I met Noah when we were both working as drivers at Domino's. And there's this one day we were out there and it was 200 million degrees. And they had run out of shirts to give me. So I had to wear like the coat. And they were just like, you have to wear it because you have to be uniformed when you deliver these pizzas. And I was just like, no, I'm going to deliver pizzas in a blue t-shirt. And the big boss was there and he caught me going to my car and he was like, you weren't actually going to go without a uniform on, were you? And it was the very first time I told him yes. And I saw the look of horror in his eyes. And I realized for the first time in my life that he knew, and all he wanted was me to lie and say that it was in the car to absolve him of any wrongdoing.
Mm.
And it's the first time that I realized that there's all these authority figures in my life who wanted me to lie to them.
Wow. Plausible deniability. Your innocence was ruined, Dan. It's like you thought people really wanted the truth. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, hold on.
I got
You
one.
guys are blowing my mind.
Oh, I got one. So this happened a few years ago. I had went back to Detroit, which is home, and my brother wanted to welcome me back. So he threw like this little kickback, and we end up two of my friends end up wrestling. Yes, we're childish. Two of my friends end up wrestling and put a hole through the wall into a room. And we got like towards the end of it. Long story short, we ended up like going to Home Depot fixing a hole, and his wife had came home at the end of the weekend and asked about it, and with a straight face said no, even though she saw it on social media, and that's not the part that we knew. But even with that, we still held to because we would never be able to come over unsupervised if we would have told the truth.
Terrible. It's the Shaggy song. It wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly. Even with proof, we still held strong.
Oh, yeah.
She got her kitchen repainted though. Entire kitchen repainted. So
Oh, that worked out actually. Okay.
yeah, we couldn't let her know, it had to blend in. So kitchen repainted.
Nice.
Awesome. So these were great. We will TJ might jump in and highlight some of these in a little bit, but we are going to segue into the first story. And Mac's going to do the first story, and then we'll do a little critique session. And after that, we will do my lesson to give him time to think about it. And then he'll do a story a second time. Sound good?
Yep. Let's get going. So I just want to say to the crew and to everybody who's in chat, the biggest crowd we've ever had, that this is a very rough draft, and I expect to get sort of clobbered for it. I mean, I know you're not going to clobber me, you can clobber the story. So feel free to come up with suggestions to make this better, because I've had a hard time just trying to make it work and flow well. So I'm in a house where Bridget is babysitting in Great Neck, New York on Long Island, just outside New York City. The house she's at is one of the better ones in the neighborhood. It's like down the street and up Baker Hill and then around the corner from my house. And I'm on my first kind of date, real date. Bridget is my friend Billy Flood's slightly younger sister, and we're all going to go to a Sweet 16 party for one of the girls from Billy and Bridget's Catholic high school. The evening feels loaded with possibilities. Oh, it's 1959 and I'm 15 years old. So Bridget asks me if I want a drink, and I say yes. She opens what must be a liquor cabinet. I'd never seen one of those before. And she tells me to say when and I wait till the tumbler is almost full. I take a sip of the drink. It's clear. It's nasty, but I think if I work on it, this is a really important time for me. I could get it all down. So Bridget sits next to me on the couch, drinking her can of Coke. I think it was Coke. It's the wrong color can for Pepsi, but it might have been Tab. Whoa, that was yucky stuff. I don't know if you go back that far. So did I hear some laughter? So she's talking all about the party. Marie, Kathleen, Colleen. I just listen. I finally get the whole drink down. I think I've passed my first test. This is an embarrassing story. This party is going to be my teen debut with this group of Catholic high school kids. I was getting more confident. I had an outside chance of even being cool. That's what I thought. But and Billy was going to introduce me to his Catholic high school friends. And I was ready. I was like dressed to the nines. I had my best clothes on. So Bridget jumps up. She tells me, oh, we need to leave. I need to leave because the parents are coming home. I can't move. I start to struggle to get off the couch. I just can't get up. She jerks me to my feet and I projectile vomit all over the floor. As I stand there swaying, she calls Billy on the phone and tells him to get over there. Billy comes and stuffs me in the back of his battered green VW Bug. And as we pull around the corner, he says one of our favorite sayings to each other, 15 years old. Hey, smooth move, X-Lax. It takes me a while to even regain a shred of composure in the car. My body is infused with a profound numbness. They just get out of the Bug and they go in the house and they leave me in the car. So finally, I figure out how to get out from the backseat of a Volkswagen Bug. The world is still blurry. I head up the driveway and go in a side door of this house where the party is. I go down the hallway into the bright kitchen and I'm blinded and everything looks fuzzy. Like I slowly ease myself down onto a chair. I'm starting to feel a little better, but my mouth is still pretty pukey. Maybe I can ask somebody for a Coke. A girl comes into the room. She's looking around for something. Maybe she's a Marie or a Kathleen or a Colleen. I asked her if she could bring me a Coke from the fridge. I think it was a Coke I was wanting. I sure was just really hoping she wasn't going to bring me a Tab. Tab was real popular with the girls. It was like an early sugar-free model soda. It makes your tongue like all curly and whatever that is in it. Anyway, she looks at me and starts yelling, "You idiot." More girls start coming into the room. "You goddamn idiot." I'm like, huh? Huh? You sat on the cake. Oh, Jesus, what? You sat on the birthday cake. I look down at my crotch. The cake, what was left of it, squishes out from under me. The whole party pushed into the kitchen to see. The girls were yelling. The boys were like howling with laughter. After the kitchen cleared out, Billy got me out of the side door. He put some towels on the front seat of the Bug and helped me get in. You know what the towels were for, right? First, we drove in silence. Then he started to laugh. That was one big boner you pulled in there. My parents weren't up, thank God, when he dropped me at home. I managed to hide my pants. Whew, what a tough social debut for a 15-year-old boy. You can tell it needs some work, right? So I'll take notes. I'm open for it.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So first of all, I'm going to not do our first opening question. That story is so great just on the merits of what happens that I had to mute Susan because she was laughing so hard at the vision of you sitting on cake.
Susan, I hope this did not happen to you, and that's why you're laughing. That's what I really hope.
Just losing it. Okay, so how did you feel telling this story? Because you opened with it, you're a little trepidatious, but after telling it, how did you feel?
Well, first of all, it's a really embarrassing story. I mean, it's
Right.
not like I tell it to too many people. But the other thing is just that it's really rough. I don't think that's because it's emotional for me anymore, but it's just I know it's kind of rough edged.
Yeah. So let's talk about some things that we can do right off the bat.
Okay.
About a minute in, you're like, it's 1950, whatever. And we sort of get that sense of time and space. And I kind of feel like you could start right there.
Oh, okay.
Put us right in the room. Don't go around. Does anybody else have some things right away that they want to throw out? I'll throw it to Noah and then to Kay.
Clearly hilarious story, Mac. I think of you in a whole different way now, of course. Yeah, so I felt like I agree with what Dan says. It was a little meandering getting in. We're like following you down the road. The thing that I noticed is that sometimes you seem to have like way too much detail. And other times I felt like I was missing a lot of detail. One thing, like describing the places you're in, paint a picture for us. What were you like? We know present Max, but what were you dressed as? What were you like? I would have liked to, that's what those details make it interesting for us.
Where did I have too many details, Noah?
Well,
I want to cut those out if they're too big. Yeah.
Well, definitely like the ride over there, and then like going into the house, like explaining how you're going in the side door. I don't know, the Coke and the
yeah, I'll jump in for Noah right now, and I'll just say, nobody cares whether it was a Tab or a Pepsi or a Coke.
That's not true.
You can make the decision, and we'll just go with you. We talked about this last week, and we're going to talk about it next week about this like truth versus accuracy thing. If you don't fully remember, just go ahead and make the choice. And if you think Coke is a better choice, make it. If you think Tab is the funnier word, just go with that. Because it's not changing the heart of the story.
Yeah, I think I got kind of tangled up in. It was important to me at the time. You know what I mean? Like those things were really important. So
right.
And I understand there's some people have not gotten out of that stage of development, and they're still.
Susan.
All right. I'm throwing it to Kay.
Mac, I enjoyed the story. I liked the idea that you're dressed to the nines. So I've got an image of you. I almost see you like a young Pee Wee Herman right now, like with the suit. That's what I'm thinking of. And then when you talk about the cake, clearly when you dress up like that, you care about your presentation. So the reason why you could have been embarrassed at the moment was like very obvious. And then you got the towel and you're like, you know what that's for. It's just like, I thought it was great. And I am going to offer pushback to Dan and to Noah as well. Like, yes, maybe you'll streamline the sentence where you say if it's Tab or Coke, but you said the Tab is like tongue curling. Like, oh God, don't let it be Tab. And I think that's an important little detail that puts us in how nervous you were, that you could focus on a detail that small. Like, what kind of drink is this? Oh, don't let it be Tab. Like, that made me come into your character a little bit more. Like, I'm not at ease. Down to the Coke. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And like, we do like seeing how nervous you are, and this is the first time, and it's a choice as to what details you put in to bring that out.
Do you guys think I'm doing okay? Do you understand what the stakes are for me? How important this is, or do I need to emphasize that more?
Yeah, I think
this was a really big deal at the time.
Always a place that's always a place where the higher the better, right? There's also a question of you ended it sort of on a moment. It was a tough time for a 15-year-old boy or something of that nature.
Yeah, I was having trouble with the ending. You know, I know.
Let's take it a little further. What happens next? Like, what happens immediately next? And like, how did you end your school situation? Like, what was it like senior year, if that's how freshman year was?
Yeah. Let me think about that, and let me think about how I could put that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I could. Do you think it's pretty cool if I could extend it? I was telling people this when they do stories. Well, bring us to the now. You know, don't just, especially you, TJ. I'm saying like, whoa, don't just stop there, TJ. You know, I feel like I never could get on the train. It's left the station. So, yeah, I could do something with that. Agreed.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about? And thoughts? I'm gonna throw one more out that I think you can go deeper into the car ride of silence. Right? We rode back in silence.
I kind of skipped that. That was a very agonizing time, really.
Yeah. After you throw up and you're stuck in that car with those two other people.
Yeah.
You know, what is the dynamic there? I think you can get some tension, and that will help with your stakes issue. Okay. What one of the other questions that we often ask are what are some things that you just noticed? Because you often pick stuff up just in the telling. Is there anything that you picked up that you were like, there it was. Now I see it.
Are you asking me that question?
I'm asking you. Yeah.
I don't know. I was a little nervous, so I don't know if I really noticed too much.
Okay.
Except it did feel choppy, like things were chopped off.
Yeah, the narrative following from scene to scene a little bit. I hate to like pile on. I think another thing that I'll throw out though is you've got a lot of named characters. And if we could get it down to 3, I think that's sort of the sweet spot. And definitely less. You know, you've got your friend. I don't remember what his name is.
Billy,
right. And partly I don't remember his name because there's all these other girls at the party that get named. You can just say there's lots of people at the party. You know, characters who aren't super involved. It sort of cues us to know that they're not worth remembering if you don't name them. And the ones you name, we think, oh, this is somebody I got to keep track of.
Well, you know, Dan, none of those people make an appearance in the story. Maybe it was hard to follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't make it. They're kind of like, I sort of threw them in there as kind of like, you know, symbols of the Catholic girls she was talking about, you know, like markers. But they don't.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm not there long enough to meet anybody.
Right.
Yeah. I like this, what Class Gorilla just said. Maybe highlight the hopefulness of the ride there versus the defeat of the ride away. I think that's right on the money. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah. I think that gives you a lot of stuff to work with.
Yeah, I can work away on this.
Okay. So
thank you, everybody. Thanks, people in the chat. Great.
Yeah. If anybody has anything that they think of after the fact, and I'll throw this one. I threw it up on there, but I'm gonna butcher this. Shakitak. Shakitak. Yeah, there we go. Shakitak says that she really appreciates your vulnerability with this story. And I think that you're really going to get there in this next run. I feel like you can see it. I think your next one's going to be good. Speaking of nervous, I'm opening myself up to the crowd. Uh, yeah, I'm opening myself up to the crowd, and I'm gonna have today's lesson critiqued. And I too sort of am bringing a little bit of a rough draft. It's something that I've been working on. We've been going through these master classes that you see online all the time being advertised for. There's about 21 writers on it. And this is just a top 10 list of things that I learned from, who is it? Steve Martin. Okay. So here we go. Number 1, dress the part. 2, meditate on funny. Make art a life habit. Number 3, once you find success, continue to work those steps over and over. Number 4, ask yourself, how do I get good? Because he had this thing about how people will ask him how to take better headshots or meet an agent or something like that. And he's like, your comedy sucks. So number 5, surprise is funny. Subvert expectations. 6, I learned that he was adorable. He teaches this class and he's just like a goofy, nice guy. Number 7, voice is branding. Find your voice, brand it. That is really important to us and part of our sort of 5L1K method that we teach. You'll see that at the end of our show that we do this like really deep thing on voice. Number 8, read it poorly and see if they laugh. And number 9, get to the joke. Should just be joke, 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 end on a come bit. Just joke, joke, joke. Get to the joke as fast as possible. And number 10, practice empathy. Empathy helps build a comedy muscle. And my biggest takeaway was that comedy and writing has changed. And before you could sort of live off of like a 5-minute bit forever. And especially if you had an hour, you could just do that hour all over the country. But now you've got to create new material constantly. And so to create that material, build that into your process. And that's sort of what Story Luck and especially Workshop is all about, is about building the practice of getting better into the performance and doing that critique and stuff like that. And that's my quick lesson for today. And we're going to open it up to everybody to give me some notes. And I'm going to try to write them out. Yeah. Does anybody have anything first? Hey, I'm going to throw it to Susan because I think she's going to be the easiest auntie.
Yeah. I like the lesson. I like hearing what Steve Martin has to say about things, and so if it was a lesson on doing comedy, it seemed fine with me. So yeah, I'm pretty easy on you. I love you, bro.
Thanks. All right. Yeah, I'll throw it to. Yeah. Okay.
Dan, I enjoyed it. I like that you went with a numbered style. It helped me set my expectations for how much content I would hear, because I think when people put numbers on it, there's parameters. I know that like I'm going to be able to have a beginning, middle, and end, even if I don't know where the end is taking me. And I like that you included the aside about Steve Martin being just like seemingly a nice guy, just a like easygoing guy. Because sometimes, we get the information in a lesson, but to be able to like give that sort of personal idea of how it made you feel when you first absorbed the information, that makes it more of a story for us. Like I'm seeing how his personality impacted you taking in his notes about storytelling. So I like that part of it too. Thanks.
All right. Noah has his mic ready.
Oh yeah, I'm
Somebody
ready to
says
tear.
who is Steve Martin. That is a good question. Go ahead, Noah.
I think he's a famous scientist. But first of all, I feel like I want to ask you our question. Dan, how did you feel doing that lesson?
It felt a little bit rushed and like there was a lot.
Yeah. So that was like the number one thing I was going to say is that, thank you, Kay. 10 things is a lot for us to digest, especially in 4 minutes or whatever it was. And you only, it was like 2 or 3 sentences max on each of them. So for me, it was like, I don't know if I could name 3 things that you said. And I think usually that's what we want to aim for. 3 is a good number for everyone to keep in mind. So
Okay.
that was my big thing.
I'm gonna throw it over to. Oh, Mac is working hard.
No, I had a couple things to say. I'm
Okay.
kind of with Noah. I kind of blitz out after like a few of those, and I guess I'm kind of concrete. I need examples. So when you give me a list, but you don't really give me examples, it's hard for me to stay connected to it. So I think fewer examples. I mean, fewer numbers of things. Why do we have to hear all 10 tonight? You got a lot of shows coming up. So how about 3 or 4 or 5 or something like that? But help us really understand them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there was a pop quiz at the end, I would have failed.
Right.
With Noah.
Yeah. if people in chat, can they remember any of them?
I'm in chat. Can I add?
Yeah, somebody in chat says if you took notes, you could remember them. Let me highlight that one. Did that person take notes? I'm kind of guessing that they didn't. Yeah, go ahead, Kay.
One of them was get to the joke, because obviously he's a comedian, and I thought that was a good parallel for one of your, well, actually, the format of our storytelling here is maybe you want to start closer to the inciting action of the story that you're telling. So what is that moment that's just going to bring people in and they can realize what the conflict is? So get to the joke. I was like, oh, there's a parallel for, telling jokes and telling stories the way we advise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think for my second telling, I was thinking about it, and so I went through and starred the ones that I liked the best. Yeah. So I think I've got some that I could go into more. TJ, I'm gonna give you a second and have you jump in if you have anything to say from people in the chat, or if you have your own thing. I'm gonna go to you first. Okay. Yep.
Okay, so I was just trying to figure out this name. Pifty. I don't know. Said
Hefty.
Has a question. Question is, did you Hefty?
Yeah.
Hefty.
Short
Hefty.
E.
Oh,
Yeah.
like hefty. Okay. All right. Question: did you find yourself exemplifying the 10 lessons, and would it be better if you did?
I really like that one because we started the show earlier. I am not dressed the part, and I have my normal uniform over there. So I'm going to go run and put it on and see if that makes a difference for round 2. Did you have... Okay. If you want in, jump back in, TJ, and I'm throwing it to Noah while I put another shirt on.
Thank you, Dan, for dressing up for us. I'm in a t-shirt.
Another shirt? Down. Wait, what?
I just wish you would change in front of the camera, but what can you do? It's not that kind of show.
This is like a Lucky Socks thing. does anybody have that like sports thing? And you watch your favorite sport and you have to have your thing so that your team can win. Does anybody have one of those?
I don't lie and I don't watch sports.
Oh,
So I want to hear about that because it's something I didn't know about. Maybe like a big stuffed teddy bear or something, or is it something
yeah.
subtle?
So for my folks, like my mom gave me these earrings with the jersey number of one of my favorite team players. And like if we're not wearing our stuff, like she's got the pair of earrings, I've got the pair of earrings, we're like, they're gonna lose if we don't have these earrings on. So maybe that was Dan's thing. Like, I need the story shirt to knock this out, which I would
Right.
totally understand, you know.
Right. And he was totally
Okay, so
contradicting himself. Go ahead.
Maybe
Matt
Steve Martin dressed the part.
DJ had a question. It said, "Did you ever make friends with that?" I don't know with what. Probably something you said earlier. Make friends with what, David?
Make friends with one of the girls. I'm not sure. Or make friends with myself after that. That's a really good way to look at it. Oh, or did I ever have any friends after that?
Yeah, maybe it was. Did you have
There's
any
a lot of
friends?
possibilities, David. That's a really good question. I like the way it sort of just hangs there a little bit. It makes me think about a lot of things.
For you to make your own thing, yeah.
Oh, Dan,
back.
this is good, Dan.
So,
Yeah.
so
Part.
I don't know if you heard it, but Noah said next time change in front of the camera.
That'll get us viewers. Let me
No,
tell
you didn't
you.
hear that?
Only storytellers.com. Dan Boyd.
Holy fuck.
This is just for anybody who's new, who just swapped in here. This is a special April Fool's show.
Never doing
This
this
is
again.
basically not what it's normally like. Yeah, Matt, did you
Yeah,
ever
it's
make
never
friends
this fun.
with the school kid?
Oh,
I mean, there's been a costume
so
change
David
already.
said, Mac, did you ever make friends with that group? Catholic kids, was there sympathy?
Well, I'll fill out the end in the ending when I tell the next time. But I think I pretty much, David, I think I pretty much burned that bridge or squashed it. I don't
Good
know.
job getting to the joke, Noah. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna try to put a little more context and repetition. I'm gonna cut it down to 5. Put a little more of me in at the top, and I think we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I gotta blow myself up. I've got a couple of notes that I gotta spin over this page. Bum 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 bum. Okay. So, how does this go? I do feel more confident. Dress the part. It's helpful. Hey, so my perfect student is someone who enjoys hearing from people, who care deeply about the topic they're about to talk about. If your favorite teachers were the ones who loved teaching even still, I'd love spending time just messing around with the mechanics of whatever topic it is that they were pontificating on, then you're my perfect student. And you're who we made workshop for. It doesn't mean that you have to love storytelling, just love watching people loving on the thing that they love to do, right? For those of you who maybe are on the fence, maybe that enthusiasm can win you over. In preparation for this, have taken a million classes on writing, read books, done in-person and online and offline workshops, writing camps, retreats, you name it. And there was always this thing that was missing. about how people taught it and communicated the topic on storytelling. And so I built this workshop. And to be honest, it is a lot easier hating on how other people teach than it is in teaching people the way you think it should be done. And the last several months doing this, coming up to our anniversary show, I have had to eat internally a lot of humble pie. But I do think we're making that 1% better, 1% better. If you have more than $0 to invest in learning some stuff, I do think that these master classes that are advertised and we advertise on our website are really good and are beneficial, and especially in the writing and storytelling division. You learn a lot from these people like Steve Martin, who's this comedian, writer. He's got books, he's got plays, he does movies that he wrote the script for as well as act in. And now I'm going to give you just like a 15-minute lesson about some stuff that I learned from Steve Martin. Number one, we inceptioned you a little bit here, was dress the part. It matters. If you've got any interest in the performance side of it, brand yourself. Telegraph your voice accurately through the way that you dress. Maybe you're not the suit and tie type. Maybe you rock a hoodie, but be consistent and be confident that this is sort of your armor that you wear when you're on stage. Rule of thumb that most people I hear teach this say is just be comfortable, wear what's comfortable for you. Or they'll say, dress slightly better than the audience. And I'm going to disagree with that. I think you just need to dress consistently. You're the guy who's dressed in your performance gear, and that's what sets you apart. Let that be your costume or your uniform. And when you put on that uniform, it'll be sort of a shield that gives you confidence because you know you're in that mode. It will set you off into that flow state. It's part of that ritual. Dress the part. And so write that one down. Okay. My number two was, I think, a good one that he had. Once you find success, keep working those steps. You will find success in your artistic life. If you haven't found it, coming here is a good part of that. And I'm going to tell you, story luck, and this is my little vulnerability part here. We made a lot of incredible shows. 2 were very successful. And when we started new things, one of the major mistakes that we had was that we stopped working the exact steps that made the first ones popular. With this show, Workshop, if you're following us, and you probably are because you're here, thank you so much. You see me working the steps. For us, that means the show has to be good and it has to be getting better and attempting new things. We have to be iterating every time we do this show. The idea out there that if you make it, they will come. Do great art and people will just find it. I can tell you, we have made incredible art. And we did with these other shows that didn't take off. They were awesome shows, but people didn't show up because they hadn't heard about it. Discovery is really important. And you've got to be working those marketing steps as well as making the show better. Do you ever have like a limiting belief? Like, I don't want to get big because that's scary. And what if I'm a one-hit wonder? One of the things that Steve Martin says with this working the steps thing is that was big on him. He was like, how will I ever top this? And you don't need to top it. You can have something good, and now you know how to produce more good things. And even if it doesn't get bigger and better, it'll still be good because part of it is that iteration. You keep making better things. Number 3, ask yourself, and this ties neatly in, how do I get good? So that's always the first question, not how do I market it, but what's the passionate thing that I want to be working on, and how do I make that thing better so that I'm proud to sort of shout it from the rooftops and be like, all my friends need to come and see this show or hear this story or share in this endeavor. How do you get good enough that you're proud of the work that you're doing? And that's just a question to meditate on. Number 4, there's a blogger economist named, I believe, Tyler Cohen, and Alien Navigation told me about him, so he can correct me if I'm wrong. He's got a podcast where he interviews writers, and one of his favorite questions is, what's the subtext in the work that people who aren't in the know won't necessarily get when reading it? That question is always in the back of my mind when I'm taking these classes and I'm writing these essays and working on stuff like this for you guys. What's something that I can pull out that if you watched it yourself, you might not notice? And read it poorly and see if it still lands is one of those things. He never says it explicitly during the thing. And it's something that I learned from another friend of mine, MJ Kang, who's a really great storyteller. And she said that to me once: don't critique my performance. I'm going to read this very dry, and I know my performance is going to be off. I just want to read it and see if it lands. And he would do that. He would read his jokes and he would take people's rough drafts and he would read them very blandly in the worst pacing possible. And you would notice this little gleam in his eye as he looked around the room and saw who was laughing and when. He would read the joke as poorly as possible. And if people still laughed, he would make this mental note. You could see sort of the cranks gearing around, being like, oh, that's it. Okay, that's the joke we're going to cut to. That's the get to the joke part. And then we can refine that and make that better and better. The last one, number 5. And I'm sure you guys are ready because this has gotten longer for me to get off this pulpit. But I really think this is the biggest takeaway one, is that practice empathy in your storytelling. And we had that 2 lessons ago about creating villains in fiction and having empathy for all your characters. Have empathy for your audience too. You know, you want to make stories that you would like to listen to. Think about and worry about what they're getting, what they're resonating with. Emphasize that. Fix the parts where they're getting confused because you care about them. He had this great line that popped this out for me, this idea of empathy and empathy for the audience. And he said when he first started out, people would write these reviews and get him into interviews and they'd say, you have an incredible sense of humor. And he'd turn it around and say, no, the audience has a great sense of humor. And what he meant by that was he would go on stage and workshop things. And if they didn't land, he would change them. And it's always that empathy. I want to be funny for them. I want to tell the jokes that they like. I want to tell the stories that they like. And you do that through workshopping over and over again. And that can mean calling up your best friend and telling them a story. That can mean telling your family at the dinner table. And every time you tell it, you pick up little subtle clues on what's working and what's not working. I sincerely hope that in this show, thank you for everyone who continues to watch, because I hope that you can feel the empathy that we're sending out to you. We really care about being a community and telling stories and sharing stories. And we're going to invite you to hang out in the Discord with us and share your stories after this. It's not some sort of narcissism. We really do want to make better art for you and have you guys tell better stories. And we think it's good for you, but it's really good for us to just have that sharing. And you listening means the world. So thank you so much. And that's my lesson for today.
So you ready for me, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I don't think we mentioned at the head of the show that one thing that's going to happen is I'm going to tell this story, and then Noah is going to do a retelling.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to that. No, I'm really looking forward to what you're going to do with this. And David, I just want to say, I think I've covered in this version, this improved version, I hope, a lot of the things that you were concerned about. You had really good questions. So, okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. Ready.
Sure.
There you go.
It's 1959. I'm 15 years old. I'm sunk deep into a brown leather couch in the den of an upscale ranch house where Bridget is babysitting. Bridget is my friend Billy's Flood's slightly younger sister. Later, Billy is going to pick us up in his green VW Bug, and we're all going to go to a Sweet 16 party for one of the girls from Billy and Bridget's Catholic high school. See, I'm trying to get more confident around girls. If a girl even speaks to me, I sometimes turn bright red. I think Billy is trying to get me better at kind of meeting and being with girls. And I also think he might have somebody at this party that he wants to impress. Bridget, freckles and sparkling blue eyes, tosses her red wavy hair and gives me a mischievous grin. Want a drink? Sure. She opens what must be a liquor cabinet. She begins to pour out some clear liquid into a full-size milk glass. Say when? I have no idea. I wait till the tumbler is almost full. When? She scoots off to the kitchen to top up the liquor bottle with water, and I take my first sip of my first drink of alcohol in my life. Nasty. But I think if I work on it, I can get it all down. I can do this. Bridget sits cross-legged on the couch next to me, sipping her can of Coke through a white paper straw. She's talking all about the Sweet 16 party. Who's going to be there? Marie, Kathleen, Colleen, and who's going out with who? She thinks I might really like Colleen. I just listen and try not to grimace, because bravely I'm working to finally get this whole drink down. And I feel like I've passed my first test. See, this party is going to be my teen debut with this group of Catholic high school kids. I left St. Aloysius grade school after 6th grade. I transferred to the public school. Now that I was in high school, I was pretty sure I could get more confident with girls. In fact, I think I even had like an outside chance of being like cool. Billy was going to take me under his wing at this party and introduce me to some of these Catholic girls. I was ready. I had my khaki chinos on, a short sleeve button down, light blue shirt open at the neck, and light brown penny loafers. Yes, with a bright shiny penny in each one. After what I think is about a half an hour, Bridget jumps up. Time for you to head out. They'll be home at 9. I'll meet you and Billy outside around the corner. I can't move. Hey, she said, it's time to go. I give her my best smile. I start to struggle. The leather on the couch is squeaking, but I can't get up. Her blue eyes are flashing. She grabs my arm and I grab her arm back. Okay, I can do this. And with a big jerk, she yanks me to my feet. I projectile vomit, another for me, all over the floor. Thankfully, it's brown tile and not carpet. Luckily, I just missed puking all over Bridget. I stand there swaying. I hear her shout to Billy on the phone. Come over here now and get him out of here. I got to clean up this mess before the parents get home. Billy, he's just a year older than me, shoehorns me into the back of his battered green VW Bug. Should I just ask Billy to drive me home? Hey, wait, I got off to a bad start, but maybe I can fix this. As we pull around the corner to wait for Bridget, he lays one of our favorite sayings on me. Hey, smooth move, X-Lax. When Bridget comes out, she jumps in the VW. She slams the door so hard that the whole tin bug rattles. The smell of puke vapors fills the little bug like a bad fart. We rattle all the way to the birthday party. Without a word, Billy and Bridget get out and slam their doors in unison. Bang, bang. I see a flash of warm light as the front door of the house opens, and then they're swallowed up inside. Oh, I sit in the car. My body is infused with a profound numbness. But then I kind of rally. I'm not going to quit now. It takes all my concentration to push the front seat back forward, grope for the tiny recessed door lever, and extract myself from the maw of the bug. The world is still blurry. I play it safe and head up the driveway for the glow of the light above the side door. I push inside. I'll just sneak in and find a place to sit unobtrusively. I feel my way down a short hallway, past coats hanging from hooks, and around a corner and into the bright kitchen. I'm blinded and everything looks like fuzzy. Like I grope for the hard back of a kitchen chair against the wall. I still feel pretty numb. I slowly ease myself down into the chair. Ah, salvation. This is a good place to scope the party out. I don't want to embarrass myself by stumbling around. Hey, I think, I got this. I'm making a new start. I'm starting to feel a little better, but my mouth is still pretty pukey. Maybe I can ask someone for a Coke. Yeah, Coke, that would do it. A girl in a blinding red party dress bustles into the room. She's looking around for something. Hey, maybe she's a Marie or a Kathleen or maybe even Colleen. Hi, I'm Mac. I'm with Billy. Our eyes lock. Could you bring me a Coke? I mean, like from the fridge. Look right at your elbow. I didn't want to try and stand up. She looks at me in horror. You idiot. Huh? More girls in blindingly bright dresses start pushing into the room. You goddamn idiot. Huh? Huh? You sat on the cake? What? You sat on the birthday cake. I looked down at my crotch. The cake, well, what was left of it squishes out from my butt between my khaki chinos and the wooden chair. Was that a yellow candle and all that chocolate icing? How did you even feel the candles? Must have been 16 of them. The whole party pushed into the kitchen to see. The girls were yelling with outrage and disgust. The boys were howling with laughter and maniacal pleasure. Oh, after the kitchen cleared out, hey, there was no saving the cake. Billy found some kitchen towels and got me out the side door. He put the towels on the front seat of the bug and stuffed me in. First, we drove in silence. Then he started to laugh. That was one big boner you pulled in there. And then I was laughing, doubled over in the front seat, tears running down my face. God, that was so terrible. That was so terrible. I was glad that the lights were out when I got home. Thank God my parents went to bed early. I hid my pants in a paper bag under the bed. I'd flip them in the washer tomorrow when my parents are out of the house. Whew. This is for you, David. After my debut at the party, there was no way I was going to get one of those Catholic Maries or Kathleen's or Colleens. I figured, hey, I survived my debut disaster at that birthday party. It just has to get better from here. I had to make it work with the girls I had in my public high school. And I just want you to know that in 2 years, my girlfriend Donna Joseph and I were named King and Queen of our senior prom.
Oh,
I knew I could do it. Well, I didn't really know I could do it. I hoped I could do it. But hey, not a bad recovery from my disastrous first debut.
Yay.
that was great. That was great. Oh,
No.
Nice move. Nice little thing from Nestor. Thank you, Nestor. After you puke, at least you didn't poop yourself. After sucking the cake, it felt like I pooped myself. Oh, I didn't want to get into that, Nestor. And I didn't want to say that I actually took a finger and tasted the icing.
Hey, those
Oh.
chinos were clean. You had the penny loafers tight.
Oh.
oh my goodness. So were you taking notes, Noah?
Oh yeah, between laughs.
All right.
There's no
Okay.
city.
So we have one more story for this evening. And before we get into that, just a couple of little things. Just a reminder, we are good with the state and the federal government. We are a 501c3. This is a not-for-profit endeavor. And so you're part of that not-for-profit community. We love storytelling and pushing it out. And the only call to action that we're doing today is to not create an account on Twitch. If you haven't, if you're in the 42 just watching us, go ahead, create an account and hit that follow button. That's the biggest thing you can do for us. And then TJ is going to throw in a link to Discord, and just throw in just the Discord link, and it's in the email I sent you, so people can join it. If you have this idea, if one of these stories triggered something in you, or you have a little more that you want to give feedback one-on-one with us, come join our Discord, and we're available in there. We're going to be hanging in there after the show for a half hour or so to listen to your stories and take them in. And it's very nice to see everybody saying what a much better job Mac did in the second one. I think I fully agree. Great job. I'm going to throw it to Kay to do the little intro for us, to explain why we do what we're about to do.
Thank you so much, Dan. So this is the part of the show where we like to play with the idea of voice in storytelling. I think part of Dan's lesson tonight from the perspective of Steve Martin was brand your voice, like really get to know your style of delivering what it is you want to say and make sure that that comes through. So when you hear a story that you've heard from one storyteller retold by another storyteller, you get to see firsthand that idea of voice playing out. So we had Mac's story, and I believe we're going to hear it from the voice of Noah.
That is correct. Thank you so much. I'm flying down the road as fast as I can. My car, Godzilla, is rattling and roaring at every turn. Okay, maybe flying is an exaggeration. It is, after all, a beat-up green VW Bug. But give me a break. I'm trying my best to rush recklessly and with abandon to pick up my sister Bridget and my buddy Mac. Today is the day that I'm going to ask out Mary D'Angelini, the dreamiest dream in all of Dreamland. Mac McDevitt? I'm too good to that kid. Not only have I set him up with my sister, but I'm taking him to what most certainly is his first teenage party. And how does he repay me? He gets drunk on pilfered vodka and vomits all over the house my sister's babysitting at. Some people have no gratitude, nor a stomach for vodka. When I get there, it is worse than I could have thought. Saying Mac is a bit wobbly would be generous. He's basically a zombie, and I have to manhandle him into the back of old Zilla. My car fills with the smell of vodka and half-digested meatloaf. It was nasty. So I roll down the windows and take Mac around the block. I figure some fresh air will help him out. It certainly is helping me out. And I mean, I'm a little worried about him. Bridget told me that he drank an entire glass of vodka in like 15 minutes. So no more race car driving. I've got potentially explosive cargo in the back. So I better keep him occupied. Hey, smooth move, X-Lax. He mumbles something. Turns out he's not a garrulous drunk. So we circle back and we pick up my sister, Bridget. She gets in and she slams that door. You'd think my car had vomited all over the Smith's living room. And I wouldn't say the mood on the way over to the party is convivial. When we get to the party, more doors are slammed. Bridget is still mad, which I can understand. And at this point, I'm kind of sympathetic. There's only so many vomit fumes a man can take, even with the windows down. We leave the Great Boy Wonder in the bog, hopefully never more to emerge from the guts of fearsome Godzilla. But me, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cool. Not like poor Mount Maxuvius. And I'm dressed cool. Jeans, blue, t-shirt, white, jacket, black, shoes, tennis, hair, slick back. And I walk in feeling confident and light as air. Everyone is here, every last one of them. John, James, Charles, Marie, Kathleen, Colleen, and of course, Mary D'Angelini, who, you may have heard, is without a doubt the dreamiest dream in all of Dreamland. I make my rounds, of course. A man's got to attend to his social responsibilities, but I don't waste any time finding Mary. And there she is, leaning on the wood banister at the base of the stairs. A beatific glimpse of heaven in her blindingly red party dress. Blindingly red, just as I imagine heaven to be. Hey, how's it going? What a party. Oh, hey, you're Billy, right? Yeah, that's me. Say, you know where I can get a drink around here? Sure, I'm going to the kitchen to get the cake. I'll bring you a Coke. Or a tab. Thanks, Mary. She leaves me, and I watch some of the other kids play pin the tail on the donkey and daydream about Mary, of course. Alas, a piercing scream wakes me from my reverie. You idiot! You goddamn idiot! You sat on the cake! You sat on the birthday cake! That idiot was my idiot. My very own Mac McDrunket. When I got to the kitchen, he's still sitting on that cake. One yellow candle still fully erect, standing proud in the midst of smashed cake and chocolate icing oozing out from beneath his piano. Oh, my camera did something bad. Okay, we're back.
You broke it.
I broke it. It broke itself. I have nothing to do with it. All right. So I got him out of there, but I didn't get my chance to ask out D'Angelini. And I'll admit, I was pretty steamed driving McDrinky home. But as I'm driving, I just look over to him, and he's so dejected. He's so forlorn. He's just a vision of teenage grief. And because I'm such a good person, I cannot help but laugh. That was one big boner you pulled there. And then Mac's laughing too. And we're good. D'Angelini, she did not see the humor in what was probably the most memorable birthday party of 1959. Certainly to all of us who were there. And I know for one thing for sure, Mac is never going to forget that night. Even if every time he tells that story, he is also going to tell you how he was prom king to make up for it. And that was it.
Yay.
Oh, great job. Oh, let's
No,
go
that was amazing.
into-
That was amazing.
that was great.
Wow,
well
that
done.
was just
So
great story, Noah. Just incredible.
Hey.
Hey, you know, I got a little something I just am starting to worry about, Dan, and wonder
Yeah.
about. This is an April Fool's show, and I
Right.
got to say, I feel like, Dan, maybe you pulled a fast one on us. Did you make up that whole lesson? In the lesson,
Well, I, for
think
one, know that I was lying. Mine was not true. That did not happen to me. You got me to lie.
yeah, wait, Dan, did you make up this whole thing about Steve Martin? Did he really say those things?
Are you are you kidding me right now, man?
No, I'm serious.
Well, I will test in my sublime defense. That would be an excellent troll. But I believe 100% that you sat on a cake. But is this the one who smelt it dealt it kind of situation? Are you telling us that you made up this story, Mac?
I'm outraged if that is true.
Well, look, let's do this. Let's let the chat vote on this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, TJ, tell the chat that they need to vote on it.
Yeah, if you think Dan really didn't do his homework today, made the whole thing up, write Dan in the chat.
Dang.
If you think I made it up, my story isn't true. If you're ridiculous enough to think that.
I like Dr. Monster Man. I don't want to live in a world where that's not true.
Right.
All right. So, if you think somebody made it up, if you think I made everything up, throw it into chat.
It's not looking good for you, Dan.
No, it's not looking good. Oh my goodness gracious.
Look at this. Neither. Oh, shit. The trust level is going
Now, does neither mean that neither of us told the truth or neither of us are lying?
I don't know. I think it's neither of us are
You
lying.
think we both lying?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
telling the truth?
No.
I don't know what's
real. I don't know what's real anymore. I've heard you talk about this.
Oh, wait. Here's somebody who's heard you talk about Steve. But I saw the same thing. I didn't hear any of those things on that list.
If we get to revise history, I'm going back. I'm actually on stage.
Rewrite it out.
All right. Do you, TJ? Do you have a thought? Who do you think won? Real quick off the top of your head.
Good question. I mean, I kind of lost count. It kept going.
Yeah.
I kind of lost count. It kept going or whatever. So, somebody's gonna have to mess up. Long story short.
All right. So, long story short,
it was
I
Dan.
am gonna Scouts honor this. Though I will admit my brain is a sieve that can't retain things very well. To the best of my knowledge, that is actually what I gained from those, and those anecdotes were 100% true. Mac, can you say the same?
There were little. I did have a friend named Billy. This is a story this guy I met in Montana named Stuart told me. And it really happened to him. And he had a lot of stories like this. He was one of those guys that this kind of, I mean, he was really like kind of perfect. Anyway, but the one real true thing is my friend Donna, my girlfriend Donna, and I were king and queen of the senior prom. Cross my heart.
Okay, I was about to ask.
But the rest,
We were going ahead.
April Fools, you know, I had to make it up.
So wait, Mac, it really happened to this other guy who had this sort of thing happen all the time.
Yes, it happened to Stu Stewart, and that was 40 years ago. I heard him tell the story, and it's never left me.
No, it wouldn't.
He was
Well,
amazing.
Re-highlight me here for a second. Thank you everyone for coming. So create a Twitch account, hit the follow. You guys all did that because we jumped a bunch of followers today. We made it to 60 earlier today, and then now we're at 75 followers. So I have to give you a whole new ask. I've thrown the link to our Discord in there, where we occasionally go in after show. We always go in after shows, but we're in there occasionally just hanging out. Join our Discord. Click on that button, create a Discord, and tell us the stories that you had. And maybe you think there's a little other troll that was happening in this April 5thools that was going on. And if you're really upset that somebody lied, or you think that it was a good April Fool's, we'd love to hear from you. And you just go to the Discord, and we can all hang out and chat there, and you can tell stories and share them with us, and we'll listen to you like you listened to us today. Hopefully this was super helpful. Anybody else have any last words?
Am I still invited to Discord or not?
You're
You are
obligated to come now.
You are obligated.
Oh no!
To now come
I have
to
a pressing
Discord.
engagement.
he's got some cake to eat.
I know.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for coming. We do this every week, Mondays, 6 p.m. And if you have a story to tell and want to sign up, we have great features coming. Next week, we have TJ from Menage a Pod podcast, which is sometimes the most popular dating podcast.
Different TJ.
And then, different TJ. And then after that, we've got Amrita, and she teaches improv out west and does a bunch of other things. And then we have Tim Barnes, who is a writer at Comedy Central. And so we've got really good guests that are going to be workshopping with us and doing feedback and telling stories. And we would love to have you hang out with us every week. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody say thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everybody. See you in Discord. I'm get some Chardonnay.
Boom.